All right.
It's
So the
good.
first one's from Danny. He says, "Hey Bradley, how important are category pages? Would you say they're essential? Thanks." Um, it depends on what kind of site you have, Danny. If it's a blog, then yes, absolutely. Categories are important because the category archive pages show like all of the posts that fall within that particular category. If it's a local site, if you're talking about for local clients and stuff, I still use categories because of the silo building silo architecture into a website. And so categories are great for that because the way that I teach this, and by the way, Danny, you can go to our YouTube channel. So youtube.com/semantic mastery, and you can use the channel search feature, or actually just click onto the playlists tab and you'll see, just scroll through. There's dozens of playlists, but just scroll through and, or even use the channel search feature, whatever, for silo training or something like that. There's a playlist in there with silo training, and there's several videos in there, starting with video number one, which is called simple silo structure. Video number two is the complex silo structure. And then there's some additional training videos in that playlist that go a little bit deeper. But so I just bring that up because if you have questions about silo architecture, then that training is really good. But part of that is whenever we're developing silos, we create the page, the top of silo page. So that's the top level term. The broadest topic term or category term is the way that I optimize now. Um, but that's the top of silo page. Well, then we mirror that same kind of page into um, a category. So in other words, whatever the top level term is that we're going to create the top of silo page for, so a regular page on the site, right? We're going to also create the same category. So it's going to have the same slug. It won't, and before, if you try to use the same slug at like a post level or at a page level, so when I say slug, I mean permalink. Um, WordPress automatically adds a -2 to it, or some other way that the WordPress makes it to where it's not a duplicate slug or permalink. But when you're talking about having the same slug in a category versus a page, it's okay because the URL is unique because the category is inserted into the URL is for the category archive URL. I don't know if that makes sense. If you go back and watch the YouTube videos I'm talking about in that silo architecture playlist, this will make sense. But why I bring that up is because you mirror the category, so the WordPress category that you've got the top level silo, top of silo pages for. And then what I typically do is redirect the category URL to the top level silo page or top of silo page. Does that make sense? And here's why: because whenever you add additional content into that silo category, especially if you're publishing posts, which is what I typically do for like location pages, for example, or supporting in their location posts. Or if you're doing supporting content within a silo, and so they're posts, not pages, you're going to want to select that appropriate category. And what happens is the taxonomy structure, so that's the architecture of WordPress, right? Between tags and categories. There's also some others like author archives and things like that. But really, what I'm talking about is tags and tags and categories. When you have the category and you're publishing posts and you place them in that category, they're like in the back end of it, essentially, like the taxonomy helps the relevance flow from the post into that category because the post is in the category. In other words, a category is a container, right? And you place the post in the category. Well, if you redirect the category URL to the top of silo page, then that kind of relevance is flowing through that internal taxonomy structure, right? But it ultimately ends up at the top of silo page. So it's almost like another internal linking method or mechanism in the WordPress site, if that makes sense. So yes, category pages are essential in my opinion. If you're building silo architecture, then you're going to want to use category pages, period. Now, whether you redirect them or not depends on what type of site it is. Again, going back to, like I said, a local business type of site, generally not going to need blog archive pages or category archive pages. So that's why I do the redirect to the top of silo page, because I just, again, there's two ways to do internal linking. There's manual internal linking, or there's three ways really. So there's automatic using like plugins and stuff. Link Whisper is one of them. There's a number of plugins that can do that kind of stuff. SEO Press Pro, I believe, has some internal linking stuff. But there's manual linking, right? So that's creating internal links from pages and posts with contextual links manually. That's a pain in the ass, but it's very effective when building sites with silo architecture for all the top level pages and everything. I do everything internally, manual internal linking. But then there's the taxonomy internal linking, right? And so that, again, just to kind of, if you redirect the category page to the top of silo page, that's like creating automated internal links through the taxonomy structure, if that's clear. So I feel like category pages are going to be required in pretty much everything. I think they are essential. But depending on how you use them or depending on what type of site it is, determines how you use them. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, it's a good question, by the way.